Hi.
What's up?
Whew.
How's it going, y'all? So this is the second film so far on our our endeavor to watch all the films nominated for Best Picture
Yeah.
for the Oscars
It's
of
it's
2021.
slow. It's taken a while. It's because I've been playing a lot of Lost Ark. I'm sorry.
Yeah, but this movie didn't even come out to watch on HBO Max until like 2 or 3 days ago. So
That's true.
we were waiting for this month to start.
Yeah. We just watched Drive My Car.
Yeah.
It's on HBO Max. It's a Japanese film. It's 3 hours. We actually we watched it last night, and we got about 2/3 of the way in, and I was
a lot of
sleepy.
reading because it is in primarily in Japanese, but there is a lot more.
And now we just finished it.
But I will say though that I was telling Alexa that it's one of those films where we got halfway in, we had to stop, and it's like I want to finish it already. Like I want to know.
Yeah. Because I
want to see where it was going.
We had tried to watch The Matrix, and that took a while. It's also a long movie, and but then eventually it wasn't on HBO Max anymore, so we never finished it. Initial thoughts, anything that what pops into your head now that we're doing a review on this?
I mean, I will say that like the other ones, I wanted to go into it without knowing too much about it. I wanted to just let the film speak for itself without me having some sort of preconceived notion of how the film was going to turn out.
Yeah.
And I was expecting some dark shit. I was expecting some really.
I'm not posting this on Facebook, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
You need to give me the reminder before we start these reviews that I can't curse. I was expecting some darker stuff. I was expecting maybe some twisted stuff. Maybe I don't know why. I think it's just because that's what a lot of the I don't know. Maybe it's because a lot of the Japanese films that I've watched in the past or a lot of horror films and stuff. So that's just the way I am. That's what
Sure.
I know, and that was dumb of me to expect that.
Yeah,
this was nominated for an Oscar for Best Picture and also Best Foreign Language Film. And I didn't expect it to be such a wholesome film and such a film with a lot of
right
depth
off the bat,
to
there's some
very rhetorical
scenes.
film.
It starts off with it starts off with nude woman, literally first scene.
Oh yeah.
So wholesome. Go on.
Wholesome, but there's some spicy bits. But I promise you, the spicy bits are the first hour.
Yeah,
actually, the first 45 minutes.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting, the way the film starts, because it's like when they started the opening credits, I was like, whoa, the movie basically hasn't even started yet. It's just now starting after dropping so much drama and so much real
It's beautiful. I mean, it's set in
Hiroshima,
and it's it's very lo-fi hip hop, IRL aesthetic a little bit.
Yeah.
The characters are very simple.
Not a lot of music.
It's cool. So they're simple,
but there's a lot of depth to them.
It showcases a lot of Asian culture, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So part of the story brings a bunch of people together, and they all speak they're from different countries in Asia, but they speak their language for what they're doing. So we're sitting there, and someone is speaking in Tagalog, and we're like, hold up, is that Tagalog? And it is. So it's really interesting, and it's just cool to it's cool to have, we were all for representation.
Yeah. And Alexa's favorite character spoke Korean Sign Language.
Yeah, that was really cool. That's something I mean, I just think of Eternals. There was the character who was deaf
Yeah.
in there too.
Right.
So it's interesting to like, yeah, like there's people of all kinds that can act. Like it's artistic and it's beautiful in its own way too. It's acting in its own way. Yeah, it's an interesting movie. Slow.
It is very slow, and it does, but it's not slow in the way that Power of the Dog was slow.
This was slower.
This, I wouldn't say, was so much slower, but I do think that the film was like Power of the Dog was slow and very understated, whereas this film was slow and very like profound, pensive. Where this guy will be talking about his past. There's like a scene where he's sharing about his wife, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he'll pause for a sentence. And then he'll talk about how painful it was, and you're not even sure if that's if the scene's going to end. Or if it begins again.
Ew, stop it.
So.
Oh God, ew. That was. You're trying to do something there.
Well, I'm just saying
you
that was the tempo of a
Mm.
lot of these scenes, where it's not understated like Power of the Dog. It's just they're letting it breathe. They're letting you like soak up what the actors' performances are, and it's fascinating to see that, because it's like that's how they really act, versus the over the top dramatic scenes when they're acting in the theater, and you know, you talk about it being very Asian. Well, this is kind of like very Asian, versus like the whole theatrical Western feeling. There's even a scene where he's like getting on the guy their cases for being so overly dramatic when they're reading when they're reading the scripts. But they're not even being that dramatic. They're just trying to add this inflection on it. And he's like, "No, you don't do that. We just read the text." You know, it's kind of fascinating.
So my mind went into comparisons of last year's batch. And like I was saying, that it was giving me Nomadland, because there's a lot of driving landscape scenes. And it's also
the car itself is also somewhat of like a character
right.
symbol.
Yeah. And like it's just kind of a off the beaten path kind of story a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
It's not like it's not a common kind of story, I think, so it's interesting. And then of course it's like also, Minari, it's cool that there's just, like Parasite and like Minari and and now this, like a lot of Asian creators and Asian actors and Asian American or international, like that's I think I like that. That's what it should be.
And I think that this film, that's what's probably that gets this film as much praise as it does, is that it shows, in a lot of ways, it's like it shows the differences but the similarities between different types of Asian groups. You have like this traditional older Japanese guy, and then you have this younger, like hotshot Japanese type guy. You have this lower class Japanese girl, but then you also have like this this Korean woman who is mute and speaks Korean Sign Language. You have a Filipino guy. You have a Chinese, or a girl from, I think she was from Taiwan, and she speaks like Mandarin and English. Yeah, and then you have this multilingual guy who's married to the... Anyway, so it's like, Yeah, it just shows like the variety of uh the there's so many different cultures represented in this film
Yeah.
in a way that worked, and
Yeah.
it wasn't so much like I don't know. I don't want to overstate my point here.
Okay.
Anyway, yeah. Um anything else? What didn't you like about the movie?
I mean, it's long,
It
but
is
it was
long.
worth it. I don't know. I kind of don't want to like. Well, I don't know if I would have any like things that I didn't really like. Like I'm just kind of taking it for what it is.
Sure. Yeah, that's
Like
fair.
I don't maybe, yeah. How can I not like a story that I don't like? I don't know. I don't know it. Like I just it is what it is, and I
Yeah.
took it in. So anyway,
I think for me, I was expecting a little bit more um theatricality, at least towards the end. I felt like
ending was interesting.
the ending was very
for
subtle,
Sure. For sure.
very very subtle. I'm not even sure what the implications were in
For
the
her,
very
sure.
last scene.
For her. Sure.
The very last scene, I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure out what exactly they were trying to tell us
Yeah.
in that last scene.
Yeah.
And and yeah, like it would have been nice to get more of a vibe of some of what the other characters. I think towards the last act, a lot of the secondary characters that I expected to see some more of, like the other people in the theater show, they kind of just fell below the radar, in the last act. So anyway, that's it. How many
Little red cars.
little red cars? I was gonna say how many pass out of 10. Is that offensive? Okay,
A
fine.
little bit.
Oh, come on.
Oh,
All right,
come on. If you have
anyway.
to question it.
Little
then
red cars.
Feel bad.
How many yeah, fine. How many little red cars out of 10 will you give this film? Will you give Drive My Car?
8.
Okay, I was gonna give it an 8 as well.
All right.
All right.
8.
All right, guys.
Now we have 2 movies. That we
2
watched.
movies down.
Oh God.
Like 34 to go.
Oh no.
All right.
No.
Well, we need to definitely watch the one with
King
Bradley
Richard.
Cooper and King Richard. Yes.
Magic or I don't
Whatever.
know. Okay.
I forgot. Anyway,
Yeah.
peace out, y'all.
Boop, 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 boop.